Yo, what it is, man? It's your boy DJ Vitamo checking in. Street Clientele TV. My boy Dave, what's happening, man? Listen, follow me at DJ Vitamo on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at DJ Vitamo. www.expressentertainmentga.com. This is what we do, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You tuned in to Street Clientele TV, David Tripp III, and I'm sitting here with a very special guest this evening, Atlanta, Georgia's own DJ Vitamo. DJ Vitamo, how you doing today, sir?
All is blessed, brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm 100 grand, man.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you coming down. As you all know, it is Artist Appreciation April, and we definitely salute all of the artists that are out there on their grind right now. And, you know, we talked to Young R, we talked to Bump, man, we talked to a few other artists and DJs, DJ Tremaine, to name a few. And we have DJ Vitamo in the building with us, man, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. And, you know, man, first of all, you've been doing it a long time. How long you been mixing and spinning in the clubs, man?
Wow. That's funny. I'm going to tell my age right now, man. Hey. Yeah, I gotta keep it real with you, man. Right. Over 20, man.
Right.
Over 20. 20 plus.
20 plus years.
20 plus, yes, sir.
And in 20 plus years, what excites you the most about it?
Man, I love music, man. I love music in all aspects, man. From rap to reggae to R&B to pop to country to. I just love good music, man. Right. Good music, man. That's what drives me.
Right. And that's definitely something that differs, you know, when you speak to different DJs. You know, a lot of DJs have, like, you know, a certain genre or a certain type of music they like to deal with, you know. So when you hear somebody that really likes all genres of music, to me, that's a real DJ. You know what I'm saying? To be able to play, love, and listen to all types of music, man. Right. And that's always a beautiful thing.
And it opens up other opportunities. You know, you're not limited to one genre or one color, one race. Right. You know, that's the way, you know, I like my situation. I love that I'm not limited to just doing, say for instance, just a club. Right. You know, I could do a wedding, or I could do a bar mitzvah, or I can do a country party, or I can do a pool party, or I can do a church function, or I can do you know what I'm saying? Right. It's limitless. Let me say that, you know. Yeah. That's what I love about it.
And that's cool, man. That's cool. And let me just ask you this: what's the craziest or the most exciting genre of music that you get to work with? I know we deal with rap music, we deal with hip hop music primarily, but you know, what is the one genre? And if it is rap, you know, why?
Well, you know, I'll say this: rap has a lot to do with a lot of different types of music, and not just lyric wise, but beat wise. Because like, I have some music that I play. It's like a fusion of country and rap, but it's country music on top of a hip hop beat. Right. You know, and I kill them every time with it. Kill them every time with it. They love it. You know, so I mean, I gotta say country, man. I love. I mean, it's some new country out that's hip right now, man. It's some, you know, even the pop music is hip. You know, it's all adding that rap element or that hip hop element to it nowadays. So it's a great thing, man. I love it. I love it, man. Right. You know.
And you know, you're a DJ. You spinning in Atlanta right now. Where can everybody find you at in Atlanta?
Well, you know, I do DJing at different sports bars. My main drive is doing weddings and private events, you know. But you can catch me at Applebee's, you can catch me at Smoky Bones, you can catch me at Sports Cafe in Jonesboro. You know, I get around, man. I get around doing a lot of different stuff, you know. Anything from, like, I just did a hospice karaoke show the other day for you know, people who are dying, and they had an employee appreciation event for them, and I played music for them, and we did karaoke and stuff like that. So, you know, it's more than just straight music. It's karaoke, it's video, you know. I'm hitting it from all different angles, you know. So once again, I just don't like limits, you know. Right. It's limitless. It's just you know, entertainment is just so broad. You know,
Right.
it's a lot in entertainment, even to the point where I'm doing lighting and stuff like that as well. Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate about the artists that you see out there in the game? Like what's something that really stands out to you, man, and really, you know, just takes hold of you when you see these artists out here today?
Well, I think it's a lot of hungry artists out there, man. I mean, I respect them, man. It's, you know, it's some good music out there, you know, and then there's some other music that could be better. But you
Right.
know, I'm just being real with you. But you know, there's some good music out there, man. You know, and if it's hot, it's hot. If it's not, it's not. That's my whole thing.
Right.
You know, and it's a lot more music that I would like to see in the forefront, but because the radio,
Right.
you know.
Well, I mean, tell me about some of that music that you like to see on the forefront. What is some of that music?
Well, I mean, you got a lot of, like, you know, a lot of artists. Say for instance, you know, and no disrespect to Atlanta, but you have a lot of artists. Say for instance, from New York or from LA who don't necessarily get the spotlight because I guess you could say Atlanta is what they call it, the Mecca of music, or that has been a name for it. But it's a lot of good music out there, man. That just really don't get on the radio like some of this other stuff that's directly from Atlanta. You know, I don't want to call no names, but it's some good music out there.
Right.
Some great music out there.
Right. Now let me ask you this: why do you think that is? Why do you think that some of now I'll tell you from a business standpoint some of the things that I see, and I think that, you know, artists definitely have to handle or have someone on their team that can handle the business better to put them in those types of positions. You know,
Right.
That's one.
Right.
But I mean, what else would you say would possibly be a reason as to why their music doesn't get the exposure that it deserves?
Well, now I know you originally said I was from Atlanta, but
Right.
I'm gonna just correct you on that.
Okay.
I'm originally from Florida,
Okay.
Hollywood, Florida. You know, but I've lived in Atlanta now close to 10 years, so that's a blessing. It's a great thing. But it's a lot of good music coming out of Florida too. You know, but one thing I've learned being a DJ in Atlanta is that if the music has a different vibe to it, say for instance, it doesn't necessarily work in Atlanta. You know, because you have some artists that's in New York that never touch Atlanta, but they still hot in
Right.
New York.
Right.
Just as Florida, just as LA, just as, you know, wherever. But in Atlanta, say for instance, it has. I don't want to say. Well, I do want to say Atlanta music has the same vibe. A lot of it does. You
I
know?
agree.
You know, as far as tempo wise, as far as sometimes beat pattern, you know. So, not to say it's not good, but I just think that music needs to go back to the days of when, you know, you had New York artists hitting, you know, you had Florida artists, you know, you had the whole melting pot, you know, on the radio.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, it's all good, but, you know, it's a lot of good music out there that still deserves exposure, you know.
Right.
And right now, Atlanta hot, man. I mean, what can we do about it?
Absolutely,
You know?
man. And Atlanta's been hot for a while now, you know, and
Yes, sir.
you know, I'm definitely glad to know you and know the fact that, you know, that you are in Atlanta and that we can reach out to you and we do work together on,
Yes,
on
sir.
certain things, you
Absolutely,
know.
man.
All about the relationship, as we say every video. It's all about the relationships. Got to be with the right people.
Yes, sir.
You know, Vitamo, what's the most important thing that an artist needs to know in the state of music today? Any artist?
Well, I think artists sometimes don't think of the whole picture when they create a song, you know, and that's the problem I have with a lot of artists that come up to me when I'm doing parties or doing shows at, say for instance, Applebee's or, you know, different restaurants and different clubs. You know, if you're going to make a song, you remember like back in the days, when you created a song, you created the whole thing. It was clean version, dirty version, instrumental, you know. But nowadays, artists just, they go in the studio, they make one track, they come to the show with one CD, you know, and, you know, they forget about the whole, it's like, it's so big, it's so much bigger than that. You know, if you come to me, I'm going to be honest with you, if you come to me and I'm at a restaurant, you know, and it's kids around, it's grown folks around, it's different, you know, you can't always expect that I'm gonna play your song.
Right.
Because I get that a lot. A lot of people are like, well, hey man, I know y'all doing karaoke, or I know you doing this. Do you play independent artist music?
Right.
And I'd be like, well, yeah. But of course, I would have to get a copy of it first and analyze it, and make sure, first of all, what you're talking about is appropriate for where I'm at.
Right.
And so a lot of people don't understand that. But being a professional, you have to understand.
Absolutely.
Because you can't expect. You be saying pop that, bust this. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna do this, and I'm in the middle of Applebee's. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Not from DJ Vitamo. It ain't gonna happen because going back to what you're saying about relationships.
Right.
I've built relationships with these people, and they trust me to provide a professional service where I'm not gonna offend anybody.
Right.
So that's my main thing. That's first to me. And second, even if you do have clean version, dirty version, or whatever, all the versions, make sure your music is recorded right and it sounds good. Make sure it's mixed right, because nowadays, of course, everybody can get a copy of Pro Tools, from a friend or two. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
Right. And everybody got a little Radio Shack microphone they can put in their room or in the bathroom. I started in the bathroom, so I ain't hating.
Yeah.
I ain't hating, y'all. I'm not hating.
Yeah.
But, it's just so easy to make music nowadays.
Right.
It is. And I respect, don't get me wrong, I respect everyone's grind. You know what I'm saying? The young dudes are really doing great music, don't get me wrong. But I just wish they got the whole picture. As far as like making it sound right and, putting it at a level, or spend money in yourself. A lot of people, I see that a lot of people are afraid to invest in themselves.
I think that, to piggyback on that, I just think that a lot of people are afraid to invest in themselves and expect others to take on that responsibility to invest in them when they want to invest in themselves. And I find that kind of hard to believe. From a businessman, from a business standpoint,
right?
I find that hard to do sometimes. There are, if it's on your heart and that this artist needs that help and you can work with them and it flows and it works together, then by all means, do it. But from a business standpoint, for me, I can't see investing my time, my resources, anything that I have available to me in somebody that won't invest in themselves, simply because all of these things I was able to acquire because I invested in them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it all goes full circle to me.
Right. Absolutely. And well, I didn't mention this, but even before I was a DJ, I was a rapper. So I know what it takes. You know what I'm saying, to put yourself out there. A lot of people. Well, a lot of rappers nowadays think it's just all about, well, hey, I recorded a song, and I got it on a CD, and I wrote my name on the CD in a marker, and now I'm gonna give it to you, and they really expect people to take that serious.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, that's the first thing that kind of makes me, it makes me look at them like, well, they're not really bold enough to invest in themselves, or they're not really motivated to go to the next level, other than just recording the demo. It's more to it than that.
Yeah.
You got mastering after recording. You got mixing before mastering. So I've been all that.
Yeah.
I've been through all that. We used to take our, when we recorded our songs, we would go to a professional studio, and nowadays you don't have to necessarily go to a studio with 48 tracks and all this digital stuff. You don't have to do all that. And but we used to take it to a mastering plant, which was a whole nother situation outside the studio. But now, of course, they got a lot of mastering programs, and I respect that if you have someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
You can't just have somebody who has a mastering program and they got 10 different presets in it, and they just match one and say, okay, your song is mastered.
Yeah.
It's more deeper than that.
You're right about that.
It's more deeper than that. So, I done been to a real mastering plant where they run it the analog through analog tubes, and
shaving the records down.
Yeah, I'm talking about making it big. So, but everything is so compressed nowadays until the average consumer ear really don't know the difference.
You don't. Yeah.
So you know, that's going back to what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and take your project to the next level, because, you know, when you see me DJing somewhere, I'm playing most likely quality music. You know, something that has been pressed up or something that has been mixed down. You know, so if I'm playing it and it's at this level, and I put your track in and it's at this level, you can guarantee I'm not gonna play it too many times.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.
You might get one or two out of me on the right night, but you know, until you take the initiative and take it to that next level, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you, man. And in closing,
Okay.
what's the most important thing an independent artist or any artist needs to know? What do they need to take from this interview with DJ Vitamo? What's the most important thing you want to leave them with?
Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. I mean, I know I said that a couple of times, but that's the bottom. That's my bottom line.
Right.
You know, because anything that I've ever done in my career, I have never been afraid to invest in myself.
Right.
There's no dollar amount that I'm not willing to spend to make everything right. You know, just, you know, you got to be bold enough to do that. That's it.
You heard it here first. Street Clientele TV. Again, DJ Vitamo, we appreciate you coming down, man. As always, man.
Yes, sir.
A pleasure to see you, brother.
Always, brother.
Artist Appreciation April, Street Clientele TV. We signing off, man. We out. That's it, bro.
I should have said they can follow me at DJ Vitamo on Instagram.
We can do another drop right
Let's do
now.
that right
We can
quick.
do another drop right now, and then we'll tag it on there.
Yeah.
Bam.
You know, I